This show is part of the Deluxe Edition Network. To find the other great shows on the network, head over to the deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
Hold on, stop.
Welcome back to the Shit Show 2.0.
Okay, Boomer.
Damn millennials. Wow.
Did not know that.
Even flirters who are obviously mentally ill. You want to be my wife?
Oh, this is gonna go downhill real quick.
What is going on? And welcome to Take on the World with
Johnny.
and Mike D. Back once again to
For
speak
the third week in a row.
for the third week in a row in the same clothing. The old dirty bastards.
Yes.
What we're drinking now is
Hang on, let me make this official. Switch it that way. Okay.
Pecan Pie Porter by Clown Shoes Brewery. It's a porter with bourbon, vanilla, pecan pie flavors. Not bad.
Yeah, I like a porter every now and then.
I had a good peanut butter cup porter last night.
Where is that one I really would love to get again? It's the peanut beer up there.
Sweet Baby Jesus.
No, that one's really good. Oh, no, top shelf. Nice to Delirium Red. PBJ.
Oh.
Peanut Butter Jenkins.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was good.
I feel like this deserves a spot on the shelf.
Yeah, that's a nice can. That'll go up there.
Nice little samurai
That's-
guy eating a pecan pie.
That's the second or third Clown Shoes we did. We did Churro Sombrero.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed they didn't have any age right theory. And that's the place I go. They always had it there. That's where I found it. That's what took us to on
Our West Virginia tour.
Yeah, well, no, not only that, but just to love that company so much. But,
Yeah.
they don't have it there anymore. And I've noticed they've just been doing a lot of like the sours with the milk.
The lactose.
Yeah, the lactose, which are fine, but I don't know. I mean, they all kind of run together and
A little bit.
kind of taste the same. So
It's all about if you like the flavors they infuse with it.
yeah, and I just right now, I mean, they're so expensive. It's just hard to like say like, well, I don't want to buy something that's gonna suck. You know.
Yeah, I know. That's why I always shy away from IPAs because there's a lot of IPAs I don't like.
Yeah, they can be just like straight up gross.
Yeah.
So
we are on the Deluxe Edition Network. That's deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
you're 3 for 3 here, bud.
I know. So go over there, check out all the great podcasts that are on that network, and it keeps growing and growing, and it's awesome. It's a great bunch of peeps.
For sure.
I enjoy bantering with them online, and although some guys do the similar stuff, everybody does it different, and it's always interesting. I love what they do.
Right.
They have a Spotlight podcast every month, and if you're watching or listening to this in November, the Spotlight podcast is Horsing Around, the Red Horse podcast. Guys are great, funny, entertaining. They do conspiracy theories, monsters, cryptids, a bunch of different other stuff. I have not listened to one of their episodes that I didn't break out laughing out loud while I was listening.
Yeah.
So
Just say they're horsing around, right?
Yep.
Ba-dum-bum-psh.
So check that out. You can see the podcast of the month or Spotlight podcast. You go to deluxeeditionnetwork.com, look for Spotlight Podcast. It'll be right there.
Hey, this is Casey Shearer.
And Ray the podcaster.
If you like pop culture,
And I know you do.
then come check us out over at deluxeedition.show.
You will not be sorry.
Ba-rum-bum-bum. Now, today, this
For the meat and potatoes of the month.
evening's topic. Now, I've actually had this one on the back burner, so this will be episode 84, even though we're, I think, on episode 87 now.
Man, I can't believe we haven't reached 100 yet.
We're getting close. Tick-tocking away. Now, there's some things that weren't an actual episode, like our beer reviews are not episodes.
Yeah.
Our gear reviews are not episodes. My lockdown series is a different playlist. I don't count it as an episode.
You call your lockdown? Ooh, just leaked on my phone.
You gleeked on it?
What do you call your lockdown series?
Lockdown. Take on the World Lockdown.
Lock Up with Mike.
Or Lock Up.
Mike
Yeah,
D.
it's Lock Up. You're right.
Lock Up with Mike D.
On that series, I do prisons. I've done a rotary prison or a squirrel cage prison, which is very unique. Check out that episode. I've also done ADX Florence, which is the supermax jail for the federal penitentiary system in the United States. There's a lot of information in there, but I always that one always.
I feel like the Lock Up series is like your Rob Dog's. Your Lock Up series is Rob Dog's Battlefield of Love.
There's story time.
Story time.
Yeah.
It's a little offshoot. It's something that you can do.
It's more information than it is anything else.
You don't have my dumbass chiming in, you know.
Well, I've always been intrigued with jails and prisons, even before I worked in a jail or prison.
Yeah.
Before I worked at the two jails that I've worked at, I visited LA County Prison. I visited Cook County in Illinois. I've visited, been through Joliet State Prison.
Oh, pardon me. Yawning over here. Need more coffee.
After starting in the jails, I've been to 10, 12 different county jails, 2 state jails, an old Japanese jail.
I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
I was in a jail in Arkansas.
Or Kansas.
It was a juvie center, but not because I wanted to visit it. It was because I was getting in trouble, and they're like, "This is your next step, pal." And they took us on a tour of the jail, and I just remember whoever was there, like, we looked inside the cell, and there was 2 dudes in there, and they're like, "Yeah, you know what? They sleep. One guy sleeps on his head towards the one that's closer to the toilet. They sleep with their head away from the toilet. The guy in the top bunk sleeps with their head. It's like, so when he pisses, he doesn't piss. You know, they're just scare tactics, whatever." And I'm like,
because someone's going to take your ass.
no, there was none of that. I don't know if it scared me because, you know, but I knew it was like a place I didn't want to be, you know. And then I end up fucking working at a place
that place that I don't want to be.
Yeah. So it's all good. I'm not on the inside, serving life on the outside, and definitely a better spot. So take it away, Mike.
So today we're talking about a serial killer. He was active between the years of 1926 and 1944. He was active during Nazi-occupied France in Paris. So he was kind of wanted by the Nazis. He was kind of wanted by the French people. His moniker is Dr. Satan.
I would think that during Nazi-occupied France, how much power did the French really have at that point?
Well, the French authorities who were helping the Nazis were the ones in charge. So, like, they wanted to catch him.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know there was French.
They were
occupied.
collaborators with the Nazis.
No shit.
Yes.
Huh. Okay.
So it's Marcel, and I hate French names. I've listened to them pronounce his name like 9 million times, and I keep getting it wrong. Petiot?
Yeah, I can't pronounce it. Marcel André
Henri Felix Petiot.
Henry Felix Petiot. That's probably how I...
Okay, Petiot. We'll go with Petiot.
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 It's a weird... How else would you pronounce it?
He was known as Dr. Satan.
White flag.
He is a French serial killer who was convicted of multiple murders after discovery of the remains of 23 bodies in the basement of his home in Paris during World War II. Petiot was a doctor who formerly served as mayor of a town in France.
Villeneuve-sur-Yonne.
And he was supposedly had a IQ of 130. He's known to have 27 victims, but as high as 63 victims possibly. I think it's actually more than that. But
so you what IQ of 130? That's pretty high. I would assume
it's not as high as mine, but yeah, okay.
What's the highest IQ? What's the scale?
I don't know what the scale is.
200? 210? I'm assuming he was a smart man.
95,000? I don't know. Supposedly he's smart. 130 is not stupid.
Oh my gosh, excuse me.
All his known activity took place in France. He was born 1897, January 17th. This is where his IQ comes in. He took an intelligence test before or after his crimes. It doesn't make any sense. And it was 130, his IQ. His killing spree began in 1926, as far as they know. As a child, he was expelled from multiple schools because of his behavior. But he did finish his schooling by age 18 in 1915. At age 11, according to, and I looked this up on Military Wiki, Petiot fired his father's gun in class and propositioned a female classmate for sex.
Damn.
Other sources said he had a classmate stand up against the wall and threw knives at him like a circus act. But none of this stuff has been confirmed. In his teenage years... Can't confirm. Dude, I've been watching the shit out of that. In his teenage years, he robbed the post box and was charged with damage of public property and theft. Petiot was ordered to undergo a psychiatric evaluation, resulting in a charge being dropped when it was discovered he had mental illness. So now, he's a teenage kid, and they know he's mentally ill here. And
at age 6.
No, he's a teenage.
Oh. What age? I didn't say teenage.
It just said teenage. So at least 13. But not more than 19.
That's cool. Give him an AR-15 and let him go to school.
Later accounts make various claims about Petiot's delinquency and criminal acts in his youth, but it's unclear whether they were invented afterwards for public consumption, sensationalized by the media, in other words. Psychiatrists reconfirmed Petiot's mental illness on March 26, 1914. After being expelled from school many times, he finished his education in a special academy in Paris in July 1915. He volunteered for the French army during World War I. He entered the service in 1916. He was wounded and gassed during the Battle of the Aisne and exhibited more symptoms of a breakdown. So he was showing signs of like shell shock after his injury. So he was sent to various rest homes. And while he was at these rest homes, he was arrested for stealing blankets and morphine and other supplies, as well as wallets, photographs, and letters. And he was jailed in Orleans. Not New Orleans. Orleans.
Gotcha.
So now, this is important here. He was in this psychiatric hospital. You want to pronounce that?
Fleury-les-Aubrais.
He was again diagnosed with mental illness, but he was returned to the front in 1918. He was transferred 3 weeks later after allegedly injuring his own foot with a grenade. I'll just throw a grenade at my foot.
What? Let's put this grenade under my ball sack, see what happens. We'll get on up out of here.
Look, I don't want to fight. I'm going to get up out of here. Ball sack grenade.
I would think a grenade would fuck more than your foot up and just kill you. Anywho.
I wonder exactly what the injury was. Did he just drop a case of grenades on his feet? So he was attached to a new regiment instead of discharged. Another source said he shot himself in the foot, which makes more sense.
Whatever, man. You shoot yourself in the foot. That's a fucking terrible injury.
A new diagnosis of mental illness was enough to get him discharged with a disability pension.
Maybe he just jerked off on his foot.
That could be.
And they're like, huh.
We call that a grenade in France.
You're like, okay, he's a little strange.
If
but
you see our O face, that's a grenade.
let me see your grenade face.
Oh.
Oh, grenade.
After the war, Petiot entered an accelerated education program intended for veterans. He completed medical school in 8 months. How does that make you a fucking doctor?
I'm sure we have some here.
Like, United States, 12 years to become a doctor.
Well, his IQ was 130.
And this was, 1920?
This is, Mike, this is back in the day where like, oh, you've got a headache? Just drill in your head and release the demons.
Okay.
Or like, you've got a blood infection, which you didn't even know. And like, well, let's just cut holes in you and bleed you.
Yeah.
I'll bleed you real good.
So he later said he became an intern at a mental hospital. So they show this paperwork, and it says intern on his paperwork that he was not that he was an intern.
On his outtake paperwork?
He was interned.
Wait, where did I hear that? I think you were telling me about this. Like they misspelled it or something? So it's saying interned.
I think he changed it somehow.
Or he changed, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
To make it look like he was an intern, not interned.
Sly little Petiot.
So he received his medical degree in December 1921 and moved to
where are we at?
Villeneuve.
I can't say highlight it if I lost you. Oh, Villanueva sur Yonne.
Okay. I have a hard enough time with the English language, much less trying to pronounce some French shit.
I kind of dated a Canadian chick once.
All I know is I give up.
I can guess. Yeah. Villanueva white flag.
Take my gun. He put out an advertisement basically saying he was a young doctor who would only have access to the newest medical practices, making him the best doctor for the people. Because there was an older doctor who was already in that town, and he was trying to get clients from him.
He's like the Steven Seagal of doctors.
Yes, pretty much so.
Man, listen, he's all his hair spray painted on. He can't kick above your shins.
I just read the best doctor journal I've ever seen. Who wrote it? I did. If you don't get that joke, go back and listen to our last episode. Actually, listen to our next episode because this will This will be before it.
Yeah, we're all over the map.
He would also collect payments for services from his patients, but also bill government assistance and get paid a second time.
Jesus Christ!
Everything.
He's like someone I know.
Anyhow, it's everything he did was about
Scamming the system?
filling his pocket and scamming the system.
Yeah.
And like when he was a klepto, and he was stealing shit like blankets. Like, why
Well,
would
I mean,
you
a klepto steals whatever the fuck they can. They don't get the thrill of what they get the thrill from stealing, taking shit, right?
Yeah.
Not whatever the value is.
Right, it's not the value.
Just the act of stealing.
That's like the one guy who worked with us for some time stole from Cabela's.
Yeah.
He had money in his pocket when they arrested him.
Right. Yeah.
Like he could have paid for the item that he stole a canoe.
That's like thrill-seeking behavior.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which was weird because the dude was always at work. He always I didn't get it. I like the guy, but
Nah, that's like he probably would have jumped out of a fucking airplane. Would have suited his fancy, and then he would have been all right.
okay.
You know, got his dick sucked on a beach in the middle of a busy beach somewhere.
What the fuck, dude? How do you go from shoplifting to
Well,
public exhibition of sex?
that might have landed him in jail. That's probably not a good one. Mike, edit that out, please.
No, it's in. It's in.
Because you don't want to do that.
You don't want to get your dick sucked at the beach.
Well, I mean, you do,
Well,
but not with people there, not with families there.
No.
That's not good. I didn't think that one through. Anyways, shut up, John.
Moving on. At this point, Petiot was already using addictive narcotics.
You know what? What do you think this guy's voice sounded like? Like, hello, my name is Petiot. You sound like Michael Jackson.
Felix Petiot.
Felix. My mama said my name's Felix Petiot.
My mama said. I get it so ornery because they got all them teeth and no toothbrush.
My gula, I'm a daughter, mama. And by the way,
you wrong, Colonel Sanders.
She showed me her boobies and I liked it.
And I like them too. Oh, bro. At this point, Petiot was addicted to narcotics. I already said that. While working at Villeneuve-sur-Yonne, he gained a reputation for dubious medical practices, such as supplying narcotics, performing illegal abortions, and petty theft.
Jesus Christ. These people let these guys get away with murder.
It gets worse with this dude, right?
Literally.
It gets worse.
I can't even go to a fishing hole without some asshole blowing my spot up.
So it was thought that his first victim was Louis
Delavoye.
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 Delavoye. Okay, Delavoye.
Yeah.
Louis Delavoye. An elderly patient's daughter whom Petiot had an affair with in 1926. Delavoye disappeared
Shocker.
in May of that year. Neighbors later said that they had seen Petiot load a trunk into his car. A short while later, a trunk that matched one of the witnesses' description was found in a nearby river. So,
can we change his name to Petit?
Petit?
Petiot?
No, Petiot.
Is it Petiot?
It's Petiot.
If you nix the O, it'd be Petit. Anyways.
Petit.
Sorry, just a little fleeting thought.
So that they saw him putting a suitcase in his car, and all of a sudden, she disappears. A suitcase matching that description shows up in the river, and a dismembered body was discovered. It could not be identified. They eventually dismissed the case and called her a runaway.
Really?
Yeah. It just gets worse and worse with this.
I guess she just dismembered herself and threw herself in a suitcase.
Well, no, they couldn't identify it, so they couldn't say that was her.
Damn, they only had DNA back then.
It was different back then. Like,
well, I'll say.
The ability to identify victims and whatnot.
I always thought that, it was different back then versus now because we got all the DNA, but yet they had the shit to be like, you know what? We have reasonable suspicion. You're fucked. And they would just, if you were guilty or not, throw you.
Well, especially in France.
Yeah. But for this shit to happen, it's like, well, we don't have any proof because we can't identify her, even though his finger. They probably didn't even have fingerprinting.
Your French accent's a little off there.
I know. I'm just trying to sound like a white flag waving retard. Sorry, I love you, French people.
I love your fries.
Yes, your fries are wonderful.
That same year, Petiot ran for mayor of WWII. During this is funny, dude. So they had a political debate. He's up on stage. He gives his side. Well, in the meantime, before that, he had hired someone to set fires in town when his opponent took stage. So his accomplice sets these fires, and everybody leaves. His opponent never really got hurt.
Oh my god!
So he won, and while he was in office, they say he embezzled town funds.
Gee, this guy's fucking hands are in everything.
Now, pretty much they caught him embezzling funds, and
they couldn't prove it.
Yeah. So the following year, Petiot married Georgette Leblesse.
Leblé.
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 Petiot. Leblé. Leblé. Petiot.
It sounds right?
The 23-year-old daughter of a wealthy landowner and butcher in a little town.
Singlet.
Dude, I'm not even going to try to pronounce them.
Their son, Gerhardt.
Yeah, Gerhardt.
Well, that's the closest one.
Well, see, here's the thing. Parts of that part of the world, parts of Germany, were over time. Part of it was Belgium one time. Part of it was Switzerland.
Shifting.
Part of it was France.
Yeah.
And so this could be good because Gerhardt is really a very Bavarian or German name.
Yeah.
But they named their son Gerhardt. And his name is Petiot. So it could be that part of.
Yeah.
I don't know much about France. I give up. Forget it.
I'll keep interpreting for you.
Okay.
Leblé and Petiot.
And Gerhardt.
Butcher of Singlet. And the son of Gerhardt.
Their son Gerhardt was born in April 1928. The prefect or representative of Lyon received complaints about Petiot, his thefts, and shady financial deals, including stealing fuel oil from the local train station.
Oh, you dirty bastard.
You dirty fuel oil stealer. After that, he was taken to court. He was temporarily suspended as mayor. And then he was reinstated again.
This is like John Fetterman or Dr. Oz, like doing this shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Which I'm sure they probably do. You dirty bastards. It's
allegedly.
Allegedly.
So he was reinstated, and then he was again charged with more crimes. He was suspended again, and then he resigned. However, Petiot had many supporters, and the village council also resigned in sympathy. So, if you're going to make him resign, we're resigning too. We're Addy. 5 weeks later, on 18 October, he was elected as councillor of Lyon Department. In 1932, he was accused of stealing electricity from the village and lost his council seat.
Jesus Christ. He was the true klepto.
How do you steal electricity, bro? You hook up to your neighbor's line?
Yeah.
Like a grow house?
I've seen that done before.
I have too.
Maybe not pay for it, and who knows?
By this point, he had already moved to Paris. So he... No. So he kind of didn't care.
I just got shunned.
Shunned.
Shunned live.
Shunned live. Well, it's actually Memorex. It's on tape.
What?
Is it live or is it Memorex?
I don't know what happened.
You never heard that?
No.
Oh, that was Memorex cassette tapes?
Oh.
When you record shit?
Yeah.
Okay, you with me now?
Not really.
Okay.
Anyways, go ahead.
Sit over there and eat a boogie.
Mm.
Stealing electricity. He moved to Paris. In Paris, Petiot used fake credentials to build an impressive reputation to attract new patients. It was not long before he was the subject of rumors saying he was performing illegal abortions, again prescribing excessive amounts of addictive remedies, opioids. In 1936, he was appointed basically the medical examiner, which gave him the authority to write death certificates. So now if one of his patients died of a drug overdose,
You could write it off.
he could just say, he died of stopping breathing.
Wow. They gave this guy like the
This
fucking key to the city.
This guy has had every chance, every place he's gone. Now, you're talking how many years have passed here since he first killed that chick?
I think they said like 19.
So 1926 to 1930. So 10 years have gone by. You're telling me he didn't kill again?
No way.
You know, we go through this with every serial killer that we do. And
Yeah.
I just think he did it in a way that he didn't get caught.
Yeah, I agree.
So
Totally agree.
that same year, while he's writing death certificates, he was institutionalized for kleptomania.
Really?
Yes.
You be institutionalized for...
And he was taken to court for not paying his taxes.
Okay.
This is 36. So leading up to this, there's tension in that part of the world. In 1940, German occupied France. Citizens were drafted into forced labor in Germany. Petiot would produce false medical disability certificates so that they wouldn't have to go to work. So they wouldn't go to the forced labor camps. And I'm sure he didn't do that for free.
Most likely not.
He also treated workers who were returning from them camps for whatever maladies.
That he gave him?
I'm sure he didn't do that for free either. In 1940,
This guy has scam artists.
oh yeah,
He's
a master scam artist and serial killer.
Yeah. He was probably fucking giving these people...
Now this is all the shit he did before he was actually serial killing. Now I think he was killing people all this whole time. Yeah, allegedly. In 1942, he was convicted of overprescribing narcotics. Even though, so he got charged with overprescribing narcotics, and there's two people who are going to say, yeah, he overprescribed narcotics to me. They both disappeared, but he still got convicted. They had no witnesses. He still got convicted. He was fined 2,400 francs.
Jesus Christ.
Which is about $2,400, which is still a lot of money back then.
Sure. Yeah.
Petiot later claimed that during the period of German occupation, he was engaged in the resistance activities. Although nobody in any resistant movement in Paris knew who he was. He supposedly developed secret weapons that killed Germans without leaving forensic evidence.
Lies.
He claimed he planted booby traps all over Paris. He claims he had high-level meetings with Allied commanders. And he claimed to have worked with a non-existent group of Spanish anti-fascists. There was no evidence to support any of these statements. So this is where we step deep into his debauchery. So there was an escape network under the code name of Dr. Eugene Petiot, pretended to have the means of getting people wanted by the Germans or the Vichy government to get them safely outside of France. Petiot.
Wait, get the doctor out of France?
No.
Oh, no, yeah, okay, yeah.
He claimed he had a way to get him away from the Germans or the Vichy government.
Right, yeah.
Petiot claimed he could arrange for passage to Argentina or elsewhere in South America through Portugal. And he did this for the low price of 25,000 francs per person.
Wow.
If you act today, it only costs you $25,000.
$500,000 in today's money?
Yes, in today's money, that's $420,000. But then it was the equivalent of $25,000. Where the fuck would these people get that money? In occupied France.
Ugh.
So he had 3 accomplices.
I mean, if you're just going to kill him, why ask for that much money? I would just lowball it and be like, shit, fucking 10 G's?
Yeah, give me 5 G's. I'll get you.
Yeah.
You have to walk half the way now.
Stick you in the neck, throw you in the river?
Yeah. So he had 3 accomplices. I'm not even going to try to pronounce their names. I didn't even write them down because they were so French, even a Frenchman would have trouble with them. They directed victims to Dr. Eugene, including Jews, resistance fighters, and ordinary criminals. Once they were in the grips of Dr. Eugene...
In the grips.
He told him, you like that? I'm a good writer. He told them that Argentine officials required all entrants to be inoculated against disease. So he would inoculate them with cyanide.
The COVID-19 vaccine.
Cyanide.
Jesus Christ.
He would steal all their valuables and dispose of their bodies. In the beginning, he would just dump the bodies in the river near the town, and it's spelled with an S. You'd like to try that?
Le soir.
Le soir. What?
Wait.
This.
Oh. Le sien.
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 Le sien. River.
Le sien.
Petiot in the sien.
Petiot in the sien.
We're swimming in the sien.
I was swimming in the sien.
I'm not even pronouncing it. But as time went on, he used quicklime or he incinerated them. He bought a house at 21 Rue Le Sueur.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You're catching on.
I listened to that like 15 times before I got it. He was really not keeping a low profile, and the Gestapo caught wind of the route to escape Paris in April of 1943. They assumed it was part of the resistance. The Gestapo forced a prisoner to approach a network. He was supposed to get information and then report back to them. However, he just disappeared. So whatever, like they gave him 25 grand. Okay, take this 25,000 and then make an excuse and come back. And he got his inoculation and died.
Huh.
An informer eventually infiltrated the operation, and the Gestapo arrested Petiot's 3 very French named accomplices.
Oh,
I could not.
shit.
Dude, I couldn't pronounce it. I didn't want
Which
to.
one of you Petiot's is guilty?
So, I didn't want to pronounce it, so I named the 3 very French named accomplices. Under torture, they confessed that Dr. Eugene was Marcel Petiot. All of them and Petiot were arrested and jailed. When they were unable to crack what they had imagined was an extensive network of spies, Petiot, his wife, and 3 accomplices were released.
No way. From the Germans?
Released. Now, this is 1944. The end of the war is coming. The war's on its last legs. The Germans have really other things to worry about.
You're lucky, Petiot. The war is on the last leg. We don't care anymore. The Führer is dead.
But he will be soon.
You keep killing, unmasking, and stealing from the government? We will look the other way.
So, now, there's a story to this. On March 11th, 1944, Petiot neighbors in Rue Le Thuit complained about a foul stench and black smoke coming from the chimney of his house.
How can they smell it all the way up there?
It was foul.
But it's all the way up there.
Dude.
And it gets carried down like...
You were all the way over there, broke your ass, and I smelled it over here.
Yeah, but I'm not 30 feet in the air with a crosswinds.
That should tell you how foul the smoke was. So, listen. I watched a video.
Billowing fucking dead French people smoke.
I watched a video on this. So, the police show up, and they said, we're going to call fire, the firefighters. Firefighters show up. Firefighters says, look, we're not entering the building until we talk to the owner. So they get a hold of Petiot, and he says, I'm not there right now. I'll be back soon.
Who the hell did they get a hold of him?
I don't fucking...
They ring him on his fucking Nextel?
Yeah, they call his Nextel.
What the hell? What year are we in?
I guess he was at his office or whatever. I guess he was at his office or whatever. They called him on the phone. They said, hey, you got to get over here. We need to enter your house. There's smoke coming out of your house. So I guess he rode his bike over. And it took like forever. And they just stood there and waited.
Really?
I'm telling you, that noise
what
was from my phone sitting there.
I think you're right. It hasn't done it all the time.
Since I moved it has not done it. So he's riding his bike over, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. So he wants to ride his bicycle.
Wait, hold on. What's the Le Foy doing down the Wa?
I want to
on the Sepoy.
So he rides over on his bicycle, and they wait for him the whole time. They don't enter the house. So when he gets there, he goes, well, sure, I'll let you in. Okay?
Then they wind up dead.
No. So they go down, and they found a roaring fire in the coal stove in the basement. In the fire, and scattered in the basement, were human remains.
Wah, wah, wah.
Okay. You think.
Oh.
In addition to those found in the basement, the human remains are found in quicklime in the backyard and in canvas bags. In his homes were enough body parts to account for at least 10 victims.
Oh, shit.
Scattered throughout his property were suitcases, clothing, and assorted property of the victims. This is 1944. The media reaction was intense, and it was a media circus, with news reaching Switzerland, Belgium, and Scandinavia.
Oh, Scandinavia.
Dr. Petiot said that he killed them because they were all traitors and Germans. Luckily, they believed him and he was released.
Oh, my God. So it must have been... Oh, okay. So they just took his word for it?
Oh, dude, I'm sorry.
Good job, Petiot.
They were all Germans and traitors? Goodbye. Go ahead, go home.
Yeah.
So as soon as they released him, he went to ground. He hid. He was with friends, and then with a patient telling him that the Gestapo wanted him because he had killed Germans and informers. He grew a beard, changed his appearance, and adopted several aliases. During the liberation of Paris in 1944, Petiot took the name Henry Valery.
Valois.
Right?
Valois.
You sure?
No. I'm just sticking with the...
Oh, Petiot.
Petiot. Valois.
Valery.
Champois. Baguette.
It's Henri Valeri. Henry Valery.
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 Whatever.
French fuckers. And he joined the French forces of the interior. He became a captain in charge of counter-espionage and prisoner interrogation.
Jesus, good. So they're right back at it. Going to
When the newspaper Resistance published an article about Petiot, his defense attorney from the 1942 narcotics case received a letter in which his fugitive client claimed that the published allegations were mere lies. So with this, the police tracked that letter and realized Petiot was still in Paris.
Huh.
So the search began anew with Henri Valery among those who were drafted to... He was drafted to find him.
Jesus Christ.
On October 31st,
He's like a Houdini.
Petiot was recognized at the Paris metro station and arrested.
Oh.
Among his possessions were a pistol, 31,700 francs, and 50 sets of identity documents.
Jesus Christ.
Well, he's a counter-terrorism dude. Or counter-espionage dude. Petiot was imprisoned in, this is yours,
La Santerre.
prison. He claimed that he was innocent. He had only killed enemies of France. He said that he had discovered a pile of bodies.
Oh, who just discovers a pile of bodies?
In his house in Rue Leslie.
Wait, hold on. Mike, use a bloody knife here. I had just discovered these bodies.
I just found them. They were just lying
No
here.
big deal. I was just cutting up an apple.
They were lying here all by themselves. Don't cut yourself again.
I know. I thought about that. The 3 times I stuck that knife in there. What if my hand just slipped down? And
So he had discovered all these in 1944, but assumed they were collaborators killed by members of the resistance network. The police found that Petiot had no friends in any major resistance groups. Some resistance groups he spoke of never even existed. And there was no proof of any of his claimed exploits. Prosecutors eventually charged him with 27 murders for profit.
holy shit.
Their estimate of his gains were 200 million francs.
Wow.
He went on
That's
trial.
a lot of money.
I know. Well, even back then, that's $200 million.
It's got to be more than $200 million.
Well, I looked it up, and in 1944, a franc was about $1.
Oh. Huh.
So that's $200 million.
But in 1945.
In 1944.
44.
In
Today's terms.
terms, that's probably $1 billion.
Jesus.
Petiot went on trial 19 March 1946, facing 135 criminal charges.
That's a lot. That sounds like a lot.
This is yours.
René Floa
Acted for the defense against a team consisting of in-state prosecutors and 12 civil lawyers hired by relatives of Petiot's victims. Petiot taunted the prosecutor's lawyers, claiming that various victims had been collaborators or double agents, or that vanished peoples were alive and well in South America under new names. So he tried to claim it. Yeah, I got some of them out.
Oh, how would you ever prove that?
There's no way.
It's like the perfect murder.
They didn't know Hitler was in Argentina.
Right.
So, he admitted to killing just 19 of the 27 victims found in his house.
He admitted to it?
Because he said they were all collaborators.
Ah.
Or Germans.
Yeah.
And, yeah, you kill a German.
Yeah, who cares? Yeah,
the only good German is a dead German back then.
Yeah.
Part of the total, 63 enemies killed. Fleuret.
Floa.
Fleuret.
Floa.
Floa.
Wah.
Floa.
Floa.
Floa. Attempted to portray Petiot as a resistance hero.
Floa. Attempted to portray Floa. Petiot.
And the judges and jurors were unimpressed. Petiot was convicted of 27 counts of murder and sentenced to death.
Jesus Christ.
On May 25th, Petiot was beheaded. Shit. Finally. Finally some fucking justice here. Literally. It wasn't until the very end that there was justice with this motherfucker. He was let off the hook so many fucking times. And, when we did, what serial killer was it? Where he tried to carjack somebody. He left one of the crime scenes and the cops pulled him over and let him go.
Richard Ramirez.
Yeah, Ramirez. It's like that.
Yeah.
And
then not only did he add insult to injury, he wrote in dust on the window like a pentagram. And it's basically catch me
if you can, bitches.
Yeah.
So finally he was beheaded after a stay of a few days due to a problem with the release mechanism on the guillotine.
Oh God. I wonder if they would tell him that. Hey, by the way.
Yeah. The latch ain't working, bitch.
Yeah. It's been going a little slow. Have a nice day.
It might only go halfway through. See you tomorrow.
Oh. What problems could you have with a guillotine? It's a fucking weighted blade.
Yeah, but the latch that released the blade was fucked up.
Come on.
Hey, mechanical errors, bro.
Yeah, wash my hands and we can't grease the latch. Who got the work order to grease this latch and didn't do it?
Ooh, I know. I know who got it. Not my zone.
That'd be everyone denying it. It came to you, came to you, came to you. Sorry, I'm not the guillotine fucking specialist.
I've never seen a guillotine before. So finally, on May 25th, he fucking gets his.
His head rolled.
So that's May 25th of 1946. And he started in 20 years earlier, 19 years earlier.
Yeah. 19 years, unimputed, just doing what he wanted.
Getting caught twice.
Yeah.
So, getting into it in the beginning, it was a little dry, but you see why this one intrigued me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Whoops. No, I didn't hit it that hard. Yeah, I mean, what the fuck? Well, different times,
Different strokes for different folks, mofo.
I don't think you can get away with anything like that today.
I don't think so. Well, no, you can't walk down the street without someone fucking having a picture of your ass.
Yeah. Yep. Fucking crazy. The cameras everywhere.
And you and I are used to it because we work in a place that has cameras in it all the time. Even when Nathan was in school, when they started putting cameras in the school, I said, listen, if someone approaches you and tries to fight you, most cameras in schools don't have audio. So I want you to put your hands up and you mouth, I don't want any problems. I don't want to fight.
Yeah.
And then
punch him right in the fucking cocksucker.
Right in the throat. All you got to do is drop this shoulder and go like that, hit him in the throat. I don't want any trouble. I don't want to fight. And it'll show on camera that you were, look, I'm trying to avoid the fight. He just kept coming after me.
Right.
Now, thankfully, my son is not me. I was in many fights in school. I don't know that Nathan was ever in a fight. And I'm glad for that.
Yeah. I mean, you don't even know anymore nowadays. Everybody's got a goddamn cell phone.
Shit. If there were cell phones when I was back at Toot, I'd probably be in jail.
You and a whole lot of people.
All the fights I was in, and
Yeah.
I was a brutal fighter, dude.
Yeah, it's almost a shame. Like, I always think, like, let the kids fucking fight, because
Yeah, let them duke it out. Like that's how we got over shit back then.
Duke it out, and then that gets over the point of some kid harnessing it, sucking it in, being a victim of being bullied, and then saying, "I got no other. I'm just gonna fucking come in with a gun one day and like start shooting the place up."
Yeah,
I firmly believe that.
I do believe that if the way you coddle kids anymore, it leads to those problems.
Well, I told you that thing I heard on the radio the other day, where they said that they did a study in mice who were bullied by other like bigger mice, and the ones that stood up and fought back, that they did a study on their brain that released more dopamine in their brain, and they were generally more happier. And the ones that got bullied and didn't stand up, they would become
dopey women?
No, they would become antisocial and like not associate with the other mice.
Well, how many of these serial killers that we talked about
Yeah, and I think they're like
that
well,
were
so,
sickly or picked on, or
yeah, you could apply that to the human race as well. It's like, of course, like if you're getting bullied and you punch that cocksucker right in the mouth, you're gonna feel good about yourself. But you keep getting shit on and pushed down.
I'll be the first one to say that the minute my fist contacts someone's face, I feel much better.
Yeah, I mean it's right there. There's this, you should.
That's empirical evidence.
Yeah, it's like you feel good. Like I stood up for myself. I'm not being bullied, and I'm a man.
And I despise bullies in school, and half the fights I got in were with bullies who were bullying other kids.
Yeah.
The other half were just because I was a dick and people took SWAT at me and I fight back. But I'm telling you, that half of the fights I got in school were bullies who were fucking picking on kids who were smaller than them. And I can't stand that. Don't pick on someone that can't take you. Pick on someone who's willing to fight back.
Yeah, I agree.
And that'll prove that you're a fucking man.
Yep. I think that's that, like, I don't know, like machismo. What do they fucking call that?
Machismo.
That makes you feel good.
Toxic masculinity, dude. That's what it is.
Yeah. Of course. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm doing what I was evolutionally designed to do.
Hunter-gatherer?
Yeah.
Anyhow, we took on Marcel Petiot,
and his girlfriend and many pieces of
Dr. Satan. I you know what? I just found this, like,
Dr. Satan.
Even now, like I saw the video when I first decided to do this. When I said to you, "Hey, my topic's Dr. Satan."
Yeah.
I saw this video, and there was just so much about this that made me want to do it. And it's just like, I'm sad that it's over.
Well, we took it on, Mike.
We took it on. Now you go take on the world.
This show is part of the Deluxe Edition Network. To find the other great shows on the network, head over to the deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
Hold on, stop.
Welcome back to the Shit Show 2.0.
Okay, Boomer.
Damn millennials. Wow.
Did not know that. Even flirters who are obviously mentally ill.
You want to be my wife? Oh, this is going to go downhill real quick.